cold temperatures here the next couple of nights. Temperatures right now close to 50 degrees, Ogden down through Harriman, Salt Lake, Draper, Provo, but here in Salt Lake it is currently 57 degrees. And then across southern Utah it's warm and windy. So compared to this time 24 hours ago, we've got temps that are about 20 to 30 degrees colder right now compared to this time yesterday. And then our windiest conditions into southeastern and southern Utah. We're tracking areas of rain and snow. Snow levels will be dropping as we head into this evening and we start to lose our daytime heating. We've got a little bit of rain coming down here at Fox 13 right under this cell where we're hearing some moderate rainfall. We've heard some rumbles of thunder. We've even had some hail that's come down along the valleys. The East Bench saw it. We had a little bit of hail here at the station. Sugar House had some hail. We've got snow coming down right now for the northern Wasatch Mountains. Snow coming down on the snowbird camera. But as we head into the next couple of hours, we will keep you cloudy and cold. Temperatures will be dropping to about 40 degrees tomorrow morning. More on what to expect through the rest of tonight and how long the storm will last coming up on the forecast. We've got a front that has made it through much of the state. Right now it is into southeastern and eastern Utah. What we're tracking out ahead of this, very gusty conditions, behind it much cooler temperatures. We were on a nice roller coaster here the last couple of days. Our temperatures were gradually rising. An average high this time of year is 68. Today we did make it to 63 degrees briefly, but we've spent most of the day in the 50s. I do want to give you a heads up that we currently have a winter weather advisory in effect for the northern mountains and also somewhat into central Utah. This will be until noon Thursday, mainly looking at 2 to 8 inches of snow for the higher terrain, although we could see up to 14 inches of snow in the Uintas and up to maybe 1.5 feet of snow in the upper Cottonwoods. So places like Guardsman Pass, if you're going to be doing a fall drive, it's going to be more like a winter drive. So make sure your car is prepared with correct tires and just be really careful in the higher terrain the next couple of days. So the winter weather advisory started this morning. That takes us through midday tomorrow. And we've got some very gusty conditions across southeastern Utah. And then we're tracking a few thunderstorms even right now moving over the Great Salt Lake. We've seen some hail and some strong wind gusts with our strongest storms so far today. We've had areas of valley rain, mountain snowfall. Snow levels started at about 8,500 feet. Those will be dropping to about 6,500 feet, maybe even 6,000 feet heading into this evening. And then we've got our coldest temperatures on the way for Thursday night into Friday morning. Also tonight into tomorrow morning, that'll be quite chilly. A little bit of rain, actually a lot of rain down towards Canyonlands, Moab, down towards Fish Lake. We've got some snow currently coming down. Storm chances for Salt Lake actually pretty decent, taking you through much of the night. So 7 o'clock tonight, numerous showers, might see a little bit of reprieve, but that'll pop back up through much of the evening between scattered to widespread precipitation in Salt Lake from 10 o'clock tonight all the way through much of the day for tomorrow. For overnight temperatures, we're looking at 30s and 40s here across Utah at 10 p.m. We head into our overnight hours. We'll keep some precipitation going. And by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're looking at 30s and 40s. And then we're going to have our temperatures tomorrow just rising. Low 50s for Salt Lake, Park City near 40 degrees, Moab mid 60s, St. George close to 70 degrees for tomorrow. We will still have a little bit of a breeze tomorrow, but not as strong as today. But we're going to get our coldest air moving in for the next couple of mornings and days. St. George 77 tomorrow, 76 on Friday. Back into the 80s this weekend for Salt Lake, 53 tomorrow, 61 on Friday. We'll go ahead and we'll look at the eclipse forecast for cloud cover coming up in just a bit. Eclipse on Saturday. So this is Saturday morning. I'm sure you've heard a ton about it by now. 9 a.m. to about noon for that eclipse here in Utah. But we are going to have a great total eclipse for that ring of fire, that path of the annular eclipse through west central Utah into central Utah and southeastern Utah. Here in Salt Lake, we're going to hit our maximum eclipse about 10:28 in the morning, and we're going to have a great view here in even northern Utah. And of course, the question is going to be, what can we expect for cloud cover? Right now it is looking like we're going to be partly cloudy here across the state. And as we look at the next couple of days, we first have to get through the storm that is moving over Utah today and tomorrow. So tomorrow at 5 p.m., we're on the west side of this storm. So we're pulling in cold air from the north heading into Thursday. So tomorrow morning and Friday morning, we got some very cold temperatures. Then I went ahead and I'm going to pause this for you Saturday at 10 a.m. So that partial eclipse will start a little after 9 a.m. and take us through about noon. And as that moves through, we will have some cloud cover here across the state. Now, I do think it's still going to be worth trying to check it out absolutely 100% and hoping that those passing clouds are doing just that and they thin out in time that you can get a good view. But we've got a winter weather advisory already in effect for the northern mountains. That's through noon tomorrow. We also have a freeze watch that has been upgraded to a freeze warning for everything highlighted in this dark purple. So mainly our western valleys, some central valleys, 9 p.m. tonight through 9 a.m. on Friday, with obviously the coldest temperatures arriving in the morning hours. Now, you want to make sure that you're taking the steps now to protect tender plants from the cold. So coldest temperatures that we've seen so far this season for the sensitive vegetation. Hour by hour forecast tonight at 10 p.m. mostly looking at 30s and 40s. Into tomorrow morning, we have 20s, 30s, and 40s across the state. Check out, speaking of Wyoming, into Thursday morning, my goodness, widespread heavy precipitation off to our east. We're going to see the storm really starting to exit, getting into Thursday evening. So for Ogden tomorrow, we're looking at scattered showers. For the Provo area, your chance of precipitation for tomorrow is widespread. And then we could maybe even see another quick storm early to middle of next week. And then for St. George, we're going to keep you dry through this weekend. St. George, 77 tomorrow, 76 on Friday, 80 on Saturday. For Salt Lake, 53 tomorrow with widespread rain and thunderstorms. Friday, 61, Saturday, 68. But Saturday morning, we will have temperatures probably about in the 50s as that partial eclipse gets going. And then we are back into the 70s next week. Freezing for Alta right now at 33 degrees, 46 for Tooele. We've got temperatures up into Farmington at 53 right now, 40s for Draper, Eden, Harriman right now, Heber 43 degrees, and then over towards Vernal 55. St. George currently 80, but most of us quite a bit cooler than that. We are a good 20 to 25 degrees colder compared to this time yesterday. And it is warm and breezy in far southern and southeastern Utah, where our wind is gusting about 40 miles per hour. For Blanding right now in Hanksville, Price 32 miles per hour. Our front is situated just into eastern and southeastern Utah. Now here in Salt Lake, we've had a few areas of showers and thunderstorms. Right now moving into the west side of the Salt Lake Valley, we've had some of these storms that have produced some graupel this afternoon and some sleet. And what we're tracking for you as we head into the evening drive will be some pockets of heavy precipitation. We're seeing lightning, we're hearing some rumbles of thunder. And then we head into tonight and we'll still see some more chances for precipitation taking us through tomorrow. More on that coming up. 52 in Ogden right now, 51 degrees in Provo, and for the Ochre Mountain Camp, we've had some snow coming down. Now our front is situated in southeastern and eastern Utah. Behind it, very, very cold temperatures. Winter weather advisories kicked in this morning. That takes us through noon tomorrow. 2 to 8 inches of snow for the higher terrain, up to 14 inches of snow for the Uintas through tomorrow, and potentially 1.5 feet of snow for the upper Cottonwoods. So please travel with caution in the mountains, even travel with caution here in the valleys. We have seen some ponding on the roads, with some locations already receiving more than 1/4 inch of rain up to 2/4 of an inch of rain, or 1/2 inch of rain up to 2/3 of an inch of rain in some areas in northern Utah so far today. So right now, let's go ahead and get to what's currently going on in northern Utah. We'll zoom you into the Salt Lake Valley. So we are located right near the airport. We can hear some moderate rainfall coming down here at the station, but our heaviest precipitation Kerns down through South Jordan, and we've got some lightning as well as these storm cells move off of the Great Salt Lake. Now we've got the chance for lake effect snow, and that's what could pump those numbers really high up into the upper Cottonwoods heading through tonight and into tomorrow. Areas of rain, Canyonlands, Arches National Park, and for Moab, for Salt Lake, widespread precipitation chances through about 8 o'clock. That starts to become a bit more widely scattered. Then those will pop back up again around 11 o'clock midnight tonight. Numerous to widespread showers through much of the evening and throughout the day tomorrow. Overnight temperatures at 10 o'clock tonight, we're looking at 40s for much of Utah. Into tomorrow morning, we drop into the 20s and 30s for colder valleys. That's why we do have some freeze warnings. But for the Wasatch Front, we'll be close to about 40 to 45 first thing tomorrow morning. Salt Lake 53 tomorrow, Park City a high near 40, Moab mid-60s, St. George 70 tomorrow. We'll still see some breezy conditions, especially into eastern and southern Utah for Thursday, but not as gusty as today. We're really going to pull in a lot of cold air getting into the next 2 nights, though, and then tomorrow's daytime temperatures well below average. 77 tomorrow in St. George, 76 on Friday for Salt Lake. We're back into the 60s starting on Friday. We'll have your eclipse forecast coming up in just a bit. Rain, so snow levels will continue to drop tonight. Then speaking of space, we've got the solar eclipse on Saturday with our maximum eclipse Saturday morning at 10:28 in Salt Lake City, and then that partial eclipse will end at 11:55. So you might be wondering, what can we expect for cloud cover across the state? We are looking at partly cloudy sky in the forecast, but that maximum eclipse for Salt Lake will be 10:28. We do have a better magnitude for that eclipse for that path through southwest or southeastern Utah up through western Utah, and we're going to end up with the system that's moving over us right now through tomorrow still bringing impacts across the state. That storm's going to be moving out, but we still do have some clouds in the forecast Saturday at 10 a.m. So we'll continue to monitor that over the next couple of days. Winter weather advisories are already in effect for the mountains starting earlier this morning, taking you through noon tomorrow. Plus, we do have freeze warnings that have been issued for many valleys, especially into western Utah and central valleys through 9 a.m. Friday, starting at 9 p.m. tonight. You'll want to take steps now to protect any sensitive vegetation, any of those tender plants from the cold, because we're going to see our coldest temperatures so far this season. Satellite and radar rain moving through the Wasatch Front for the evening drive. Some pockets of heavy precipitation. We've seen some sleet, some graupel with these storms, and snow coming down along the higher terrain. Into central Utah, once you get over towards Kanash and north of Beaver, we've got a little bit of rain coming down. We've had rain Canyonlands and Arches National Park. Through tomorrow, we continue Thursday morning with areas of valley rain and mountain snowfall. Those snow levels dropping to about 6,500 feet. And then the storm's going to be clearing out late in the day on Thursday, and with the clouds clearing out, we're going to have a very cold start to Friday morning. Scattered showers for Ogden tomorrow. For Provo, your chance of precipitation for tomorrow widespread, drying out for this weekend. And then for St. George, you have a dry 7-day forecast. 77 tomorrow in St. George, 76 on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, close to 80 to 85. For Salt Lake, 53 tomorrow. It's going to be quite cool. And then Thursday night, Friday morning might drop into the 30s for some portions of the Wasatch Front. For Friday, 61. Saturday and Sunday, close to 70 in Salt Lake. And then we'll keep it close to 65 to 70 through the rest of the 7-day forecast.